And now we get word from the coach that Angel Reese is going to have a modified role.
Did you see the chaos happening with Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky? Coach Tyler Marsh just changed the game completely by shifting the focus to Camila Cardoso, pushing Angel off balance and all the way to the bench.
And new head coach Tyler Marsh is busy installing a different vision for Chicago's offense. The Sky plan to use second-year power forward Angel Reese much differently than how she was deployed in her rookie season.
And new head coach Tyler Marsh is already implementing a new direction for Chicago's offense. The Sky had intended to use second-year power forward Angel Reese in a way that's a major departure from her rookie season role. Just like that, the Sky's hierarchy took a major hit. So long, double-double streak. Reese supporters aren't just upset, they're in full-blown revolt on social media, claiming this is a scheme to erase Angel's historic rebounding rise before it even begins in the W. Is this the fall of Reese?
Angel Reese preseason part 2. Let's get it. What they say about layups, harder than nuclear physics. Bang! She's a point forward now, and nobody's more excited than opposing defenses. Time for the vintage underhand scoopity shot from 3 feet. Yep, there it is. Bang!
And here's where things heat up. Angel Reese hasn't been spotted at training camp since news of the change broke. The queen of stat padding is now being pushed to expand her game, hoisting mid-range jumpers despite a field goal rate of only 39.1%. Yep, that's the number. A pivot this drastic? It doesn't feel like growth. It feels like someone changed the script on her whole story. So, is this Chicago playing smart basketball or a quiet mission to fade Angel's brand?
The Chicago Sky's offense will no longer run through Kennedy Carter. Carter averaged 17.4 points per game in 2024, leading the Sky in scoring. Interesting. It should lead straight through, I believe she's 6'6"? Camila Cardoso down in the paint. That's who it should lead through. That's who it better lead through.
The news landed just days ahead of the Chicago Sky's showdown with none other than Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. And Coach Marsh? He didn't just adjust lineups, he tore up the entire plan. Angel Reese's role hasn't just changed, it's been completely overhauled. Fans are stunned as one of the WNBA's most talked about players is being shoved into a brand new mold before the season even tips off.
It sounds like they're going to pull her out further from the basket, and I wonder how her fans are going to feel about that. If she's further away from the basket, that doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of, or as many, I would believe, offensive rebound opportunities for one Angel Reese.
Let's take it back. Angel carved out her whole image by grabbing rebounds like it was a mission. From LSU to the W, her double-double streak became her signature. She turned those numbers into headlines and jersey sales. Remember her second pro game when she pulled down 19 boards against Indiana? That moment blew up online, locking in her rep as a rebounding force.
If she's not as close to the basket on offense, which she shouldn't, it should clear out the paint and underneath the basket for Camila to be able to rebound. And we know she can hit layups. We've seen them. We've seen them over and over. I've seen plenty of videos.
But right when she thought her path was set, the Sky asked her to switch it up. Literally, they want her drifting from the paint to take mid-range shots. That's like asking Shaq to camp out at the three-point line. The very area she dominated is now off limits, and Angel's left trying to adapt, if she even wants to. Then there's the mechanics. Her shot release? It's slow, awkward. This isn't seamless. It's a square peg clashing with a round hoop while the shot clock winds down.
Chicago Sky wanted to take mid-range jumpers. Okay. However, Marsh wants her to add more versatility to her shot selection by hitting mid-range jumpers 10 to 15 feet from the basket. She's working on being able to shoot off dribble, and when the play call is for a catch and shoot, Yeah, but what does that mean? Because she's look, we've all seen videos of her practicing. She's got a very, very slow as syrup release out there. So that should be interesting against anybody that's got any kind of a wingspan.
Let's be real. Reese's shooting efficiency is, frankly, inefficient. Just 39.1% from the field. And that's mostly shots near the rim. That's not just subpar, it's a glaring red flag. Instead of refining what she does best, the coaching staff wants her to build a brand new skill set. Meanwhile, here's the kicker. As Reese is pushed out of the paint, Cardoso is being given full control of it.
And they want her to shoot more mid-range. This should be very, very interesting.
And now, they want her taking more mid-range shots. This is about to get very, very interesting. Yep, Camila Cardoso, the Brazilian phenom, has taken over Angel's old spot under the rim. The very role that launched Angel's brand and built her social clout now belongs to someone else. And the optics, not great. Camila's rise feels almost too well timed, like a polished PR move wrapped up with a marketing ribbon.
And I think Angel's really good. I think she's really good. And I just think the team would be better if, you know, they anchored their defense around the elite defensive player and kind of ran their offense, maybe not through Camila because she's not going to pass it, but run their offense to the elite finisher.
Angel's no-show at training camp says a lot. Most pros view a new role as a chance to evolve, to grow their skill set. But Angel's response feels more like rejection. She's gone quiet, missing, brooding, maybe even plotting. Whatever it is, the message she's putting out doesn't scream teamwork or flexibility.
Per Julie Poe of the Chicago Sun-Times, Reese has yet to post up at training camp as she learns a new role for the offense. Oh, this should be very interesting. Quote, for Reese, that means adapting to a modified role that will tap into her full potential as a stretch four.
Let's be brutally real. This isn't Angel letting go of her strengths. It's her resisting growth. In today's league, having a dependable shot is the bare minimum, but she's holding firm. The Sky aren't targeting her. They're evolving with the game. A forward can't just crash the boards anymore. You've got to space the floor, generate offense, and keep the ball moving. Right now, Angel's game is stuck on loop. Rebound, put back, repeat. And when that formula's disrupted, she falters.
The McDonald's sponsoring the first ever fry cook in the WNBA. Bag work is off the dollar menu, man. What is this junk? Bang! Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And most importantly, Mother Teresa, Mother Nature, and Mother 2. I'm watching because of me too. Bang! Did you know a croissant's most important ingredient is butter? Yes, butter. Butter. Butter pecan. Bang!
The real conversation we need to be having isn't whether the coach made a bad call. That's the surface level debate, the kind that gets clicks and headlines. But dig deeper, and you'll see the real issue isn't about a single decision. It's about development. It's about potential. It's about whether Angel Reese was ever truly given the space, the guidance, and the tools to evolve into something greater, into the kind of player today's game demands. This isn't about disrespect. This isn't personal. This is about basketball at the highest level, and basketball doesn't wait. Her change in role isn't a punishment, it's a shift rooted in the direction the modern WNBA is heading. Today's game is faster, more fluid, and unforgiving. It's built on spacing, versatility, and shot making, especially from forwards. If you can't shoot, if you can't stretch the floor, if your skill set is too limited, then no matter how passionate you are, no matter how dominant you once were, the game will evolve, and it will leave you behind. So the real question isn't, was this fair to Angel Reese? The question is, was she ever set up to succeed in the first place? And going forward, can she adapt? Can she grow? fast enough to reclaim her place in a league that's already moving forward without her? That's the conversation worth having.
Angel Reese, going home to her alma mater, LSU, plays against the Brazilian national team in front of 6,373 people. 6,373 people. This is an arena that holds 13,000 people.
What happens when a self-proclaimed draw in women's basketball returns to her championship alma mater? You'd expect packed stands, thunderous applause, and tickets impossible to find, right? Angel Reese's LSU homecoming delivered something entirely unexpected.
Angel Reese fans, LSU fans, all of you who tell us, oh my God, what a big superstar. Oh my God, transcendent. Oh my goodness, generational. Oh my goodness, so on and so forth. You guys do all the talking, all the yapping. Twitter fingers turn to can't even show up and buy ticket fingers.
Despite dirt cheap ticket prices and the nostalgic return of a national champion, the Pete Maravich Assembly Center sat half empty during the Chicago Sky preseason game against the Brazilian national team. The same building that roared for Reese during her college career suddenly went quiet when she returned as a pro. Was it all just smoke and mirrors? I thought people watched for her too. And what did Angel Reese's mom and her new coach, Tyler Marsh, have to say in all of this?
Yeah, we're gonna eat good this year. How about another McBrick? Bang! To your local McDonald's, you can order the Angel Reese special, you get the combo meal, you get the bang bang! Hey, get her a credit card, with the reward points, cause she loves to travel! Bang!
What happens when a national champion returns home? For most stars, it's a celebration complete with fanfare, packed stands, and enough energy to power a small city. For Angel Reese, it was something else entirely. Remember when Angel Reese boldly claimed she was the reason people watch women's basketball alongside Caitlin Clark? Those words echoed through sports media for weeks. Reese positioned herself as an equal draw, suggesting fans tune in just as much for her as they do for Clark. It was a big claim that set expectations high for her return to LSU.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. It's because of me too, and I want you to realize that.
The Chicago Sky scheduled a preseason matchup against the Brazilian national team at Reese's alma mater. The perfect homecoming story. This should have been a slam dunk for attendance. A national champion returning to the place where she made history. Yet the actual turnout told a different story.
A lot of Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
The Pete Maravich Assembly Center holds over 13,000 fans when filled to capacity. During Reese's college days, those seats were regularly packed with purple and gold. But for her professional return, merely 6,000 people showed up. That's less than half the arena's capacity, leaving entire sections visibly empty.
They did not even halfway fill that place up last night. So the narrative about people are watching for Me Too, people are showing up for Me Too, that narrative is, don't let anybody try to blow smoke up your...
What makes this even more surprising were the ticket prices. Fans could get in the door for as little as $11 on some resale sites. $11. That's cheaper than most movie tickets these days. Even with such accessible pricing, thousands of seats remained unfilled.
There was over 6,800 seats still available, and some people were saying, by the way, that literally there were some $15 tickets out there.
Social media quickly noticed the attendance issue. "Yo, it's empty in there," one user posted. Another pointed out, Angel Reese fans couldn't even sell out LSU's arena for her return, and tickets were dirt cheap. The cameras couldn't hide the truth as they panned across sections of vacant seats during the broadcast. This attendance failure raises serious questions about Reese's marketability. She's secured major endorsement deals and positioned herself as a basketball icon, yet couldn't fill her home arena at bargain prices. The gap between her perceived draw and the actual numbers is impossible to ignore. The empty seats directly contradict Reese's claim about being a major reason fans watch women's basketball. If that were true, wouldn't her homecoming be the hottest ticket in Baton Rouge? The numbers speak for themselves.
We're going to point this out because Angel decided to come out and she said, I'm going to play the victim. Or, well, the victim, yeah, and the villain. People are watching for me too. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Of course, criticism about the half-empty arena quickly made its way across social media platforms. And when fans started pointing out the obvious attendance issue, they received an unexpected response. Not from Angel herself, but from her mother, who jumped to her daughter's defense with a tweet that only added fuel to the fire. When the photos of empty seats hit social media, Angel Reese's mom didn't stay silent. Her response, it only made things worse. As fans pointed out those vacant sections at LSU, Angel's mother jumped into the Twitter fray with a defensive comeback that missed the mark completely. Rather than addressing the disappointing turnout, she chose to shift the focus elsewhere.
Angel Reese's mother has gone on the offensive and called out Caitlin Clark fans for pointing out attendance. And I just don't see the point in this. I don't see the point in this.
Her exact tweet read, "That certain fan base looking in the stands celebrating attendance while others are looking up in the rafters celebrating championship banners. We ain't the same. Different year, same haters. Have a great day." This wasn't subtle. Everyone knew exactly which certain fan base she was talking about. The pointed reference to Caitlin Clark's supporters came across as both defensive and dismissive. Instead of acknowledging the legitimate surprise that a hometown hero couldn't fill half an arena, she tried creating a false equivalence between attendance numbers and championship banners.
There is no argument to be made. We heard it from Chinea Wumake as well. We've heard it from a lot of people. Like, there's no argument to be made that there is a needle. There is a needle.
The problem, the tweet actually attracted more attention to the exact issue she wanted to deflect from. Social media users quickly pointed out the glaring contradictions. One fan fired back. Her daughter playing in that empty arena got her so tight she had to take a swing at us. I'm in tears.
You have literally got a parent of a player in the WNBA flexing winning a college ring, while instead of, because people are calling out attendance. These people are calling out attendance, and the only reason people are calling out attendance is because Angel said the whole "people watching for me too."
Others noted the most uncomfortable truth. Wouldn't it be more helpful if you directed your hate at how LSU games were packed this year, but this game was not? This perfectly captured the central issue. During Reese's college days, LSU consistently packed the house. So, why couldn't her WNBA return generate the same enthusiasm?
But people have not shown up to watch her play basketball, and that is a fact. Like, people do not really show up to watch Angel Reese play basketball. And I do think that there's not that there's a reason for it, but I do think that can be, that's something that you can mention when the "people are watching for me too" statement has come out of her mouth.
The mother-daughter defensive stance backfired spectacularly. Instead of quieting critics, it amplified the conversation about Reese's actual drawing power. The championship banner argument held little water in the professional context. College achievements don't automatically translate to WNBA star power. What's more, The attempt to change the subject only highlighted the gap between perception and reality. If you need to remind people of past glory when current attendance is disappointing, you've already lost the argument.
Angel Reese did things last night I'm not sure we've ever seen on a basketball court. I was like, is this real? Did this happen?
Angel Reese just had one of the most humiliating performances of her career, and it wasn't just about the numbers. It was the way she completely unraveled on the court. From careless mistakes to needless aggression, Reese put on a meltdown that left everyone stunned and speechless.
The Lunar Owls crushed the Rose BC, and Angel, well, she did some rather interesting things on the court. And Napheesa Collier, well, look now, one thing we could say, they are not afraid of Angel Reese and the Rose BC, because after hitting the game-winning shot, Napheesa had some real words towards Angel Reese.
But the real highlight? Napheesa Collier had seen enough of Reese's antics and decided to show her a lesson in the most perfect way possible. If you want to see how to shut down a trash talker, you're in the right spot. Stick around, because we're diving into every laugh-out-loud moment that revealed Angel Reese for what she truly is, a player more concerned with drama than real basketball.
Angel Reese looks like a very dirty move under the basket.
Spot draws two, sling it, Reese!
Angel Reese entered this game with her usual swagger, acting like she was ready to dominate. But it didn't take long to see she was more focused on showboating than actually helping her team. Instead of playing smart, she spent the game trying to intimidate her opponents, tossing reckless passes, and making one poor decision after another.
She's going to go in, and then after she hits it, she's going to bark her head off at Angel Reese.
Eight to shoot. Tiggins Smith matched up by Gray.
Right there.
To the ball. Collier
Game
wins
winner.
it.
Look at her. She's
12-1.
talking mad.
Queen Bee.
Mad.
Angel Reese was on Napheesa Collier, giving her a bunch of frustrating bumps.
Let's dive into the numbers, because, frankly, they're laughable. Reese turned the ball over 7 times. Yep, you read that correctly. 7 turnovers. And these weren't just small slip-ups. We're talking about some of the most absurd blunders you'll ever witness at the pro level. At one point, Reese launched the ball right into the backboard, grabbed her own errant pass like she was playing a solo game of catch, and then stood there looking utterly baffled, as if she couldn't believe what had just unfolded.
Angel Reese rebounded her own pass. I saw this and was like, this can't be real. Angel Reese thought she was playing dodgeball out there.
Reese's overconfidence really caught up with her as she launched some of the most absurd shots you can imagine, completely off the mark. When she wasn't airballing, she was out there trying to play bully ball, repeatedly shoving and body-checking Napheesa Collier, all in a desperate attempt to get under her skin.
Angel was 8 for 16 for 17 points, 10 boards last night, 7 turnovers. Napheesa Collier right here, 7 of 16. She had 16 points, 9 rebounds, but she had the most important thing, the game winner last night.
But here's where the real fun kicks off. Instead of letting Reese's antics rattle her, Collier did exactly what a true pro would do. She stayed locked in, kept her focus on the game, and absolutely exposed Reese for the fraud she is. Every time Reese tried to get physical, Collier answered in the best way possible, by lighting her up on the scoreboard.
I mean, Angel Reese is out there looking like a UFC fighter.
If you're a hoops fan, if you're a basketball fan, and you watch this, I don't give a if you are an Angel Reese fan. You can't tell me this is not egregious.
They're doing everything they have to do to sell this league.
Angel Reese's desperation hit a peak when she pulled off one of the most awkward defensive plays of the game. Trying to muscle her way into position, she completely lost her balance and crashed to the floor like she was auditioning for a role in a B-movie. The best part? The refs weren't having any of it. No whistle, no foul. Just a cringeworthy moment that had fans face-palming.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skills. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
Social media didn't hold back, quickly roasting her for that ridiculous flop. Fans were quick to point out that for all her talk about being a tough, physical player, she sure crumpled like a paper bag when it worked in her favor. It was another harsh reminder that while Reese loves playing the villain, she doesn't exactly shine when the heat's on. Instead of stepping up and asserting her dominance, she turned to antics that only made her look more out of her depth.
This is Angel Reese, the content creator side. It's pretty clear basketball is her top priority. I cannot imagine how anybody could view this athlete in any other way. It's clear basketball is front and foremost. This is all helping with things like shooting better from the field and missing layups. She has no rhythm, just like she can't make a layup. Practice layups. OnlyFans incoming.
Meanwhile, Napheesa Collier stayed locked in, letting her game do the talking. While Reese was flailing for attention, Collier was racking up buckets, showing why she's one of the best. Every time Reese tried to rattle her, Collier responded with pure skill. And just when it seemed like Reese's night couldn't get worse, she panicked and threw a pass right into an opponent's hands. Another turnover, another wasted chance, another embarrassing moment.
I think Angel's more concerned about being an influencer, content creator, over being a better basketball player. This was her taking pictures, hanging out with some rappers and producers, etc.
You think you could get a bucket in this format, full court 3-on-3?
You don't think I can get a bucket?
Yeah.
If Angel Reese on my team, yeah.
By the end of the game, the contrast between the two players was painfully obvious. Collier was the epitome of professionalism, calm, collected, and clutch when it mattered most. Reese? She was nothing more than an overhyped mess, letting her emotions control her every move. It was a night to forget for Reese, but for fans who've watched her antics all season, it was just another glaring reminder that she's nowhere near the superstar she claims to be. This loss wasn't just another tally in the column, it was the brutal exposure of her reckless, undisciplined play. While she's built a brand on trash talk and drama, games like this lay bare why she's nowhere close to the level of true stars like Collier or Caitlin Clark. The difference between all the noise and real talent was put on full display, and in the end, Reese walked away with nothing but yet another humiliating loss.
I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have. But it is what it is, and I think that we are all benefiting from the effects that she's had on the game, and I just appreciate the way she shows up.
It's not every day in women's basketball that a Hall of Famer steps onto a podcast and delivers more truth than a finals post-game interview. But that's exactly what Lisa Leslie did when she recently came to Caitlin Clark's defense. What followed was nothing short of a masterclass in grace, perspective, and yes, a subtle but powerful takedown of Angel Reese on her very own show. Thousands were tuned in, and Reese got an up-close look at what will likely go down as one of the most graceful clapbacks in podcast history.
Going into my season 2, what's some advice that you would give for me?
Season 2, I can't wait to work with you some more. The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period.
While the internet has been blowing up over the Clark versus Reese drama, with fans treating it like a Marvel-style rivalry, Lisa Leslie stepped in and played a whole different game. She didn't take sides. She raised the level of the conversation. One day, she's praising Caitlin Clark for her influence on the league. The next, she's offering Angel Reese the kind of mentorship you won't find in any practice session. It wasn't about rivalry, it was about growth. And let's face it, someone had to say it.
But she literally got called out for missing layups. I mean, on her own damn show.
Let's rewind for a second. For months, it's felt like Caitlin Clark couldn't catch a breath without some WNBA veteran tossing a passive-aggressive remark or shooting her a side-eye. Between jealousy-fueled tweets and literal body checks on the court, it was obvious some in the league weren't exactly rolling out the welcome mat. So when Lisa Leslie, one of the WNBA's original legends, stepped in and said, "Actually, Caitlyn's doing everything right," it landed like a buzzer-beater game winner.
You want to see more WNBA people saying this, and it's just so obvious.
This wasn't just any random take. This was Lisa Leslie, one of the architects of the WNBA, a pioneer who threw down dunks before they were the norm, and someone who understands firsthand what it means to elevate a league. So when she says Caitlin Clark is the real deal, the basketball world pays attention.
We have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else. And I think Caitlin has said that even herself in certain interviews. And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. So I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game.
Lisa didn't just say Caitlin Clark was talented. She emphasized the how, not just the numbers. She pointed to Clark's humility, her genuine appreciation for the trailblazers who paved the way. In a league where some hacked like they invented the crossover, Clark's deep respect for the game's history stood out, and Lisa made sure everyone heard it. Her message was clear. Are you even paying attention? While some gripe about screen time, Caitlin is out here honoring the pioneers who built the stage.
Listen, she's a competitor. She's a trash talker. She makes players around her better. She's exciting to watch. And quite frankly, I've missed seeing her. Being at Unrivaled, she was there. Like, I've missed seeing her play. So I really look forward to seeing her back out there. But as I do all of the WNBA players, we are really watching a very exciting level of basketball.
But let's get to the real moment, the game-changing pivot that turned heads. Lisa Leslie didn't just defend from a distance. She stepped right into the conversation, face-to-face with Angel Reese on her own podcast, a space where Reese controlled the mic and the final cut. Leslie didn't hold back. She went full truth-teller mode, looked Reese straight in the eye, and called out the glaring issue, those missed layups.
The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period. We're going to fix that. Yeah. That's fixable for you. And I think that's probably the biggest. I think your shot from the outside is improving. I love that your ball handling is good. Your defense is improved.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the setup. You bring a legend onto your show, expecting some nostalgia, a few laughs, maybe a feel-good girl power conversation. Instead, your struggles at the rim get put on blast for thousands to hear. It wasn't harsh. It wasn't petty. It was raw honesty. And truthfully, it was the kind of tough love coaching moment Reese might not get anywhere else.
Where she literally needs to put up 300 shots a day. And I'm not kidding. 200 or 300 shots a day, and that's missed layups. She's 6'3" or 6'4", can't hit a layup to save her life. And literal videos have went mega viral of just her missing layups in games.
Lisa didn't tear Reese down. She built her up. That's what makes Leslie such a force. She didn't humiliate Angel. She challenged her, the way a Hall of Famer would take a struggling rookie aside and say, here's what needs to change if you want to be great.
You got to go out there and prove yourselves. And listen, are we going to get upset about 5, 6, 10 games less on television or not? I don't think we should. We have access to find these games now in a way that we never had before, and we have to appreciate that, and all these platforms that support the W.
Lisa understands something many overlook. When the stars rise, everyone wins. And Caitlin Clark? She's not just rising, she's skyrocketing. Leslie made it clear that Clark's spotlight isn't a threat to veterans. It's a rising tide. More attention on the league means bigger paychecks, packed arenas, and a future where both rookies and veterans get what they're worth. She didn't shy away from the controversy around Clark's screen time. She tackled it head-on.
Stephen A. Smith had a very interesting discourse with Fee recently over the number of games the Fever have broadcasted this season compared to other teams who have also got stars on them. So curious what you make of W's decision to lean into highlighting its stars.
While players like Reese and others grumbled about how often Clark's team gets the national spotlight, Lisa Leslie broke it down like a professor. When one of us eats, we all eat. In other words, instead of complaining about TV time, They should be thanking Clark for bringing more eyes and more opportunity to the league.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect, called the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games?
Remember when some players, and even ESPN, tried to downplay Caitlin Clark's dominance at Iowa just because she didn't win a national title?
I'm curious, where would you rank her amongst all-time college players, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's tough because you got to win one. I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me 3 years to win mine, so it's hard.
Well, Lisa Leslie wasn't having any of that either. She shut it down, plain and simple.
Curious if you think winning an NCAA championship is needed for that eventual GOAT conversation, greatest of all time status.
Absolutely not. I didn't win an NCAA championship. I was National Player of the Year. I won all of the individual awards, but sometimes, it's very hard to win a national championship, regardless of how much people talk about it, like, oh, you have to have it. It is one of the hardest things to do in a tournament where you have so many games and you're trying to get there. So yeah, shout out to all of the players who were able to win national championships, but it doesn't make a player who didn't win a national championship any less of an amazing individual player.
Then came the mic drop moment. Lisa Leslie said, Clark deserves this, all of it. The attention, the endorsements, the hype, because she's changing the game. And when those words come from someone who changed the game herself, it's not just praise, it's a passing of the torch.
Hey, listen, Caitlin, I am so thankful for her. I'm thankful for all of these women and where this game is, and we have to step back and see the big picture and how it's impacting all of us.
So what did we witness? It wasn't just a defense of Caitlin Clark or a critique of Angel Reese. It was a lesson in leadership from one of the game's all-time greats. Lisa Leslie showed us how it's done. You lift others up, you correct when necessary, and most importantly, you speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable and even when it's on someone else's mic. Because at the end of the day, Lisa Leslie isn't here to play favorites. She's here to elevate the game. And Caitlin Clark? She's proving every day that she's not just a media sensation, she's the future Lisa Leslie's been waiting for.
Also, Complex has put out their 10 most influential women in sports. And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1.
Caitlin Clark did it again. As if shattering records on the court wasn't enough, she just scored another huge victory without even having to tie up her sneakers. Complex just crowned her the most influential female athlete, solidifying her place as the biggest name in sports at the moment. And the best part? She edged out Angel Reese, who, predictably, isn't taking it too well.
So, it's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of, just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
That's right. While Clark is out here racking up awards, growing the game, and making history, Reese is busy scrambling for excuses, pretending like this honor doesn't matter. But let's be honest, if Reese had won, we'd never hear the end of it. Instead of celebrating someone else's success, she's doing what she does best, downplaying Clark's accomplishments while spending more time on TikTok than in the gym.
Announcing the top 10 most influential athletes right now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark, check. Breaking records. Caitlin Clark, check. Proving their impact goes far beyond the game, from sold-out arenas to game-changing moves in business and fashion. These women are leading the way. If this is a top 10 list, then sitting on the top of that list, there's only one right answer. There's only one correct choice.
Let's set the record straight. This isn't just about an award. It's about who the fans are really backing. One player has everyone tuning in for her mind-blowing talent, and the other, well, she's famous for making headlines for everything but basketball. Some see this as a rivalry, but let's be real. It's not much of a competition when one player is actually winning.
What is your stance on that? So my whole thing was like, when I got drafted, number 7. So I'm like, cool. Like, the pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7, so the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can just hoop. So I'm like, all right, cool.
It's because you started killing it.
Well, yeah.
And they're like, oh,
I'm still a rookie. I'm still figuring it out. Trying to figure things out.
All right, let's break it all down. Why did Clark take home this award? What makes her influence so undeniable? And most importantly, why is Angel Reese acting like she got robbed? We're about to dive into the numbers, the impact, and the hilarious aftermath.
And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at that. I think it's hilarious. I will tell you right off the bat, I don't believe there's a singular world, where Angel Reese should be ahead of Simone Biles either. There, I put that out loud.
Caitlin Clark didn't just break records, she obliterated them. 62 records shattered in a single season. Let that sink in. This isn't just about making history, it's about rewriting the entire record book. No player in WNBA history has ever dominated like this, and we're only in year 1.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the FIBA rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
But here's where it gets even crazier. Clark didn't just put up insane numbers, she actually changed the trajectory of an entire franchise. Before she showed up, the Indiana Fever were stuck at the bottom of the league, barely staying relevant. Then Caitlin Clark walked in, and boom, they made the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade. That's not just individual greatness, that's team-changing dominance.
The woman who's been putting women's basketball on her back for the better part of 3 years now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark has men watching women's basketball.
Let's talk off-court impact, because this is where Clark leaves the so-called rivals in the dust. WNBA merch sales shot up 500% in her rookie season. Yes, 500%. Jerseys, t-shirts, memorabilia, everything was flying off the shelves. Meanwhile, Reese's jerseys, just sitting there collecting dust, while Clark's sold out in minutes.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon.
This isn't just about jersey sales. Clark's influence is shaking up the whole league's economy. Viewership is through the roof. Arenas that once struggled to fill seats are now packed, but only when Clark's in town. Teams that used to beg for fans are now scrambling to expand seating to keep up with the demand.
So that's what they got on her. Caitlin Clark, she ran away with number 1. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number 1. Caitlin Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. That's right. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlin Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Clark's impact is undeniable. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105%.
Even sports economists are stunned by Clark's impact. Thayer Lavielle, a top name in sports business, called her a lightning rod for women's basketball, comparing her to Michael Jordan for how she's boosting the game's visibility and value. And honestly, she's spot on.
Because when we went to the WNBA games and we went to go watch Caitlin Clark when they came to play the Washington Mystics in DC, and they shut that they had to move the game from the Washington Mystics WNBA arena to the actual Washington arena where the Wizards played, and it was packed. It was sold out for people to see Caitlin Clark. That did not happen the day before that when they went to Chicago to play Angel Reese.
Let's talk real numbers. Clark's rookie season alone raked in a jaw-dropping $36 million for Indianapolis. Just one player did that, and it's only the start. Experts predict her rise will boost women's basketball's value by $1.6 billion over the next 3 years. Yes, billion with a B.
I'm going to look at this the way I did with Michael Jordan. Now, she's not the Michael Jordan of her sport as far as athleticism, playing, dominating. But A'ja Wilson is the best player in the game. Not even a debate. But I'm talking about value now. Value to a franchise, value to a league, getting your team in the playoffs. They had the number 1 pick. They were the worst team last year. And there is value that I can attach to that.
So what does all this mean? Caitlin Clark isn't just a superstar. She's a movement. She's doing more than dominating on the court. She's reshaping the entire league's future, bringing in new fans, generating massive revenue, and making women's basketball must-watch TV.
I'm talking about value. Michael Jordan was the most valuable player every single year because of what he meant to his team and what he meant to the league. And, oh, by the way, winning 6 titles. Can't argue with that. Caitlin Clark may not win titles. Las Vegas is still a great team. But the fact that she is doing what she's doing and at a very high level, you know, it's now commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers for any player, no matter how long you've been in the league.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese is still sitting there trying to figure out why she wasn't named most influential. Maybe if she spent more time working on her game and less time complaining on social media, she'd get that this is about sports.
This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the 3, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese, stop it. Stop it. There's a dude on the internet who cracks me up on TikTok. He's put together a shitload of Angel Reese clips, and it'll say Angel Reese part 36. And it goes, Angel Reese going up for another layup. She misses, bang! And I mean, dude, it's the funniest shit. And my whole thing is this, dude. She just seems as uncoordinated as a baby giraffe.
Caitlin Clark's journey to these awards might seem like a done deal, but the real story is way bigger. Remember Angel Reese? She was hyped as Clark's biggest competition, with the media pushing this so-called rivalry. It was framed as the ultimate showdown, a season-long battle that had fans hooked. But let's be real, was it ever really close?
Saying Angel Reese is better than Caitlin Clark is saying Rodman was better than Michael Jordan, or Ben Wallace was better than Kobe, or even Andre Drummond was better than LeBron. And I shouldn't have to point out that Angel Reese is actually a poor defender.
From the jump, the media pushed the narrative of 2 rookies battling for WNBA supremacy. But as the season went on, the gap became painfully clear. This wasn't a duel of equals. It was one player dominating the league, while the other spent more time in the headlines than in the box scores.
Oh, Reese! 3-on-3, part 13, let's get it!
Classic long 2.
Bang!
PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video. But viewers are encouraged to look away.
Bang!
What?
Bang!
I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. I say $1 million for every missed layup is fair.
Bang!
They are stat petting queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages. Remember, they're coming to see her.
Long 2, butter pecan. Bang!
Then came Rookie of the Year and First Team All-WNBA, and that's when it all came to light. Clark didn't just win, she ran away with it. The so-called competition wasn't even close. As for Reese, she wasn't exactly graceful in defeat. Instead of congratulating Clark, she hit social media to claim Clark didn't deserve the honor. Imagine losing a race by a mile and then demanding a recount.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
But here's the real kicker. Clark's success isn't about trophies or petty rivalries. She's not out here chasing awards. She's revolutionizing the WNBA. Her impact goes far beyond basketball. She's expanding the game, shattering attendance records, and bringing in millions of new fans. Meanwhile, Reese is stuck trying to convince everyone she belongs in the same conversation as Clark. The difference? Clark is changing the game. Reese is just trying to catch up.
Okay, so I thought this was cool. Look, it's no secret that Angel Reese has had finishing woes throughout her professional basketball career thus far. In a sense, it's been something she's been scrutinized and even mocked about.
In a stunning turn of events that has sent shockwaves through the basketball community, Angel Reese, once a collegiate sensation and now a rising professional star, has been unexpectedly removed from her team. Nola Henry, the dynamic and up-and-coming coach in the Unrivaled League, has captured headlines with her daring decision, leaving fans and analysts alike questioning the reasoning behind this move. What led one of the league's youngest and most talented coaches to part ways with such a prominent player? The surprising exclusion of Angel Reese from the Rose Club squad has sparked intense speculation and debate, highlighting the unpredictable nature of professional sports dynamics.
Off somebody's leg or foot or didn't.
Well, typically to me, Lisa, the longer it takes proves that there was not conclusive evidence to overturn the call on the floor.
Then just say that and let's move on. We want to see some basketball playing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's explore the remarkable rise of Nola Henry. At merely 29 years old, Henry has swiftly made her mark as a head coach in the Unrivaled League, showcasing an extraordinary blend of talent and determination. Her career launched in 2020 when she began as an intern with the Connecticut Sun, gaining crucial insights and experience under the guidance of former head coach C.T. Miller. Demonstrating her capabilities, Henry advanced through the WNBA ranks, securing a position as a trusted assistant coach for the Los Angeles Sparks. Her leadership skills shone brightly when she stepped up as interim head coach for 2 games. Now, Henry is one of 6 head coaches leading teams in the newly formed Unrivaled League, where she mentors some of the most skilled players in the sport.
Congratulations, Nola! One more. Rose on 3, 1, 2, 3, Rose!
Among the standout athletes on her roster is Angel Reese, the dynamic forward who has captured attention both on the court and beyond. Celebrated for her relentless drive, exceptional skills, and vibrant personality, Angel was anticipated to be a cornerstone of Nola's Rose Club team. However, what circumstances led to her unexpected removal from the lineup? In her initial press conference, Henry expressed enthusiasm for cultivating strong relationships with her players and implementing sophisticated strategies. She underscored the significance of collaboration and discipline, stating, "I'm looking forward to the scheming, but I'm also looking forward to getting to know these players and building something special." Yet, it appears that certain factors or individuals have unsettled her plans for the Rose Club.
If it's one thing I learned from Kurt, it's how to prepare. That's probably the number one thing that he's taught me. So just what's going through my mind is just game plan stuff, just what I need to do to be prepared, how to make the players feel better, make them feel most comfortable and prepared. So just everything going through my mind right now, aside from the gratitude and the appreciation, just for the moment, the opportunity is just preparation, game plan stuff. I'm thinking about the game.
Insiders reveal that friction started to emerge during the initial phases of team practices. Reese, celebrated for her intense competitive nature, reportedly had conflicts with Nola Henry's coaching approach. Team sources suggested there were disputes regarding player roles and strategic choices, with Angel allegedly challenging some of the coaching methods. Boasting a talented roster that features stars like Chelsea Gray, C.A. Copper, and Brittany Sykes, Nola Henry faced difficult decisions. In such a fiercely competitive league as Unrivaled, full commitment to the system is essential from every player. When it came time to finalize the Rose Club roster, Henry made the decisive choice to remove Reese from the starting lineup. This unexpected move left fans astonished and sparked discussions about the dynamics between coach and player.
Rebounding the ball really well, specifically on the offensive glass. I think since adding the addition of Angel Reese, adding to Elizabeth Williams, both elite rebounders. So I think one emphasis is just trying to go out there and, rebound the ball. That's a pretty big emphasis for us. And then just playing our game, going out there, competing, having fun, trying to embrace doing the little thing.
Following practice, Henry addressed the media about her decision without specifying any names, stating, "As a coach, it's my responsibility to make choices that benefit the entire team. Sometimes that involves making difficult decisions, but I stand by each one." Although Angel Reese wasn't directly mentioned, the intent was unmistakable. No individual player surpasses the team's needs. Fans swiftly voiced their opinions on social platforms. Some commended Henry for upholding her values and prioritizing the team's welfare, while others questioned the judgment behind removing a player of Reese's talent, with one fan tweeting, "How do you bench Angel Reese? She's a game changer."
When they were playing all of those games in those weird courts where there wasn't that many fans, that was a similar atmosphere to Unrivaled. And the court, by the way, looks beautiful. The graphics, the lighting, all of the things looks absolutely beautiful. But you didn't get that crowd energy like you do get from any other basketball.
So, what's next for Angel Reese? Although she remains on the Rose Club roster, her spot in the starting lineup is still uncertain. For Nola Henry, this decision represents a crucial turning point in her emerging coaching career. Will her bold choice pay off, or could it backfire in the high-pressure environment of Unrivaled basketball? Angel Reese is facing an unexpected reality check in the Unrivaled League. Her move to 3-on-3 basketball has been anything but seamless, with performances that have led fans to question whether she can truly compete with the league's top talent. In her early games with the Rose Club, Reese has been underperforming. Her shooting percentage is dismal, and defensive mistakes have cost the team vital possessions. Even in games where her physicality stands out, her inability to adjust to the faster pace and tighter spacing of 3-on-3 basketball is glaring. Simply put, Reese appears out of her depth, highlighting the significant gap between her and Caitlin Clark. Clark, who has effortlessly adapted to the Unrivaled format, has been delivering standout performances. She's scoring from all areas of the court, dishing out highlight-worthy assists, and leading her team with exceptional leadership. While Reese struggles to find her rhythm, Clark has firmly established herself as the undisputed Rookie of the Year for 2024. Look at the numbers. Clark is averaging over 20 points per game, shooting an impressive 45% from deep and nearly 6 assists per game. Meanwhile, Reese is barely reaching double digits in scoring, shooting below 30%, and her defensive ratings are among the lowest in the league. The excitement that surrounded Reese from her college days seems to be fading quickly as Clark continues to widen the gap between them. And if you think Reese is trailing far behind Clark, think again. Kate Martin, another rookie who entered Unrivaled with much less fanfare, has been on fire. The Iowa standout has been quietly dominating games, using her versatility to outplay her competition. Martin is shooting exceptionally well, playing lockdown defense, and making a strong case for being the second-best rookie of 2024. Her ability to rise to the occasion has been remarkable. She's not just excelling in her role, she's thriving under the pressure of Unrivaled basketball. Fans and analysts alike are beginning to wonder, has Angel Reese been overhyped all along?